The boys were back in action last night as we beat Aberdeen 5-2-1. In today's video, as always, we will discuss the fallout from that game. Not only that, we will also go over the transfer millions we are set to agree after a latest revelation. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Shawn Mardell continued to show his potential with a highly impressive cameo as Celtic swept aside Aberdeen 5-1 at Pittodrie. The 17-year-old midfielder, who had also featured from the bench at the weekend, looked right at home once again despite his tender years. Thrown on for the closing stages of the match, Mardell immediately caught the eye with his terrific touch, calmness on the ball, and sharp awareness. His composure belied his inexperience as he slotted comfortably into the midfield, playing with the confidence of a seasoned professional. Celtic were already comfortably ahead when Mardell entered the fray, but he took full advantage of the opportunity. The teenager linked up well with his teammates, producing a series of smart one-touch passes that kept Celtic ticking over in the latter stages. He even came close to capping the night with a goal of his own. Mardell forced a decent save from Aberdeen keeper Dimitar Mitov, a moment which would have rounded off what was already an extremely encouraging showing. The midfielder has quietly impressed in the background at Lennoxtown and looks to have earned the trust of Rodgers, who has spoken about the need for young players to earn their place in the squad. Mardell's assured displays in the past two matches suggest he is well on the way to doing just that. With Celtic already crowned champions and one more league game to play against St Mirren on Saturday, Mardell could well feature again before the Hoops turn their full focus to the Scottish Cup final at Hampden. Now, for the main story, we've all heard this one before. Jeremy Frimpong is on the move, Celtic are due a windfall, and fans wait patiently for the jackpot that never quite lands. Since the Dutchman left Parkhead in January 2021, talk of a future payoff has cropped up almost every transfer window, but after years of speculation, Celtic might finally be staring down the end game. Journalist Nicolo Shearer claims Liverpool have reached an agreement in principle with Frimpong on a contract running until 2030. The Premier League side are reportedly ready to trigger the €40 million release clause in his Bayer Leverkusen deal, which could at long last open the door to a payday for Celtic. Frimpong joined Celtic from Manchester City for a modest £350,000 and left 2 years later for a reported £11 million fee. Crucially, the club inserted a sell-on clause believed to be worth 30% of any profit Leverkusen make on a future sale. If Liverpool cough up the full amount of the release clause, about £34.2 million, Celtic would be entitled to around £7 million. It's a timely development for Rodgers, who is expected to be backed in the transfer market this summer. With Champions League football potentially on the horizon, the manager is aiming to reshape and strengthen his squad. A financial boost of this magnitude could give the recruitment drive extra legs, allowing Celtic to go beyond the bargain bin and compete for top-tier targets. Frimpong has developed into one of Europe's most exciting attacking fullbacks, playing a pivotal role in Leverkusen's unexpected and special Bundesliga triumph last season. His pace, flair and directness have caught the attention of Europe's elite, with Liverpool identifying him as a potential successor to Trent Alexander-Arnold. For Celtic fans, who've been promised this financial bonus more times than they'd care to count, the hope now is that the deal finally gets over the line. After years of waiting, the Hoops could be just days away from reaping the reward of some sharp negotiation back in 2021. In other news, Celtic manager Rodgers was left frustrated and made his feelings clear on the touchline after Rio Hitat limped off injured late in Wednesday's 5-1 victory over Aberdeen at Pittodrie. The game, already comfortably in Celtic's control following a second-half red card for Aberdeen's Alfie Dorrington, boiled over in the closing stages as tempers flared in the home ranks. First, a reckless tackle on Luke McCowan raised tensions before Pape Gueye launched into a heavy challenge who had only come on as a substitute as part of Rodgers' rotation plans. The Japanese midfielder was left in visible discomfort and had an ice pack strapped to his knee as he left the pitch. Rodgers made his displeasure known to the fourth official immediately after the incident. The Celtic boss said, "It was a poor challenge, to be fair for the guy. He'd obviously lost his head a wee bit at the end and Rio has just sort of left his leg there with the ball and the guy's come right through him. So we'll have to see how he is. But yeah, it was a disappointing challenge, though," he said. The timing of the injury will be a concern for Rodgers and the coaching staff, with Celtic's season entering its final phase. Hitat has been a key player for the Hoops, particularly in recent weeks, and any absence would be a blow heading into Saturday's trophy day against St Mirren and the Scottish Cup final against Aberdeen at Hampden the following weekend. The incident capped what had been a largely positive night for Celtic, who showcased their depth with goals from Mike Narocki, Yang Hyun-jun, Luke McCowan, Johnny Kenny, and Adam Ida. Celtic fans will now await further updates on Hitate's condition in the hope the injury does not derail what could be a historic end to the season. In other news, Celtic's current front line has etched itself into the club's history books by matching a remarkable goal-scoring feat that has stood for almost half a century. Following the 5-1 rout of Aberdeen at Pittodrie, the Hoops now boast 3 players with 20 or more goals this season, something that has not happened at the club since the 1976 to 1977 campaign. Dyson Maeda leads the way with 33 goals. His phenomenal run of form led to him sweeping the board at the club's Player of the Year awards. The Japanese forward has been a relentless presence up top for Brendan Rodgers' side and remains a huge threat going into the season finale. Nicholas Kuhn, who had a slow start to his Celtic career, has exploded into form at the start of this season and now sits on 21 goals following his clinical finish against Aberdeen. His resurgence has been a welcome boost as the Hoops push for a domestic treble. Adam Ida has hit an impressive 20 goals, despite having an underwhelming season in some people's eyes. The last Celtic side to achieve this feat featured club greats like Kenny Dalglish and Joe Craig, a reflection of just how rare this level of goal-scoring depth has been in the modern era at Parkhead. With the Premiership title secured and just 2 games left, St Mirren on Saturday and the Scottish Cup final against Aberdeen, all 3 players have the chance to add to their tallies and further cement their place in what has been an extraordinary season for Celtic's attack. The record-equaling milestone only shows the firepower at Rodgers' disposal and will have fans excited at the prospect of what this front line can deliver next season. Lastly, Brendan Rodgers reserved a special message for the travelling Celtic support following Wednesday night's commanding 5-1 win over Aberdeen at Pittodrie. The Celtic supporters travelled in big numbers for the midweek clash despite the late 8 p.m. kickoff, and Rodgers was quick to acknowledge their dedication and backing, which he believes played a key role in helping the much-changed Celtic side produce a dominant display. Rodgers said, "A special mention tonight for the supporters to be up here for an 8 o'clock kickoff. They've got a long travel back down to Glasgow and to Ireland and beyond. So a big thank you to them because they were absolutely fantastic for us and gave us that great energy and support throughout the night," he concluded. Celtic's away support has once again been the envy of Scottish football this season, packing out away ends from Dingwall to Rugby Park and everywhere in between. The fans at Pittodrie were in full voice as goals from Mike Narocki, Yang, Luke McCowan, Johnny Kenny and Adam Ida sealed an emphatic win for Rodgers' side. It was a night to savour for many of the fringe players who got their opportunity, and Rodgers pointed to the fans' unwavering support as the perfect backdrop to that performance. The atmosphere created by the travelling support helped Celtic to a comfortable win as the team builds momentum towards next weekend's trophy presentation against St Mirren and the chance to seal a treble at Hampden later this month. The manager's message will have struck a chord with a support that continues to go the distance for their club quite literally week in and week out. What are your thoughts on these? Let us know down in the comment section below. Make sure you've liked this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content.